Hello everyone, I hope you're having a lovely day. Welcome to my channel. I am Jumper Gems. Thank you for joining us today. Today I will be drawing Charmander, but somehow even cuter. I don't know if I can achieve that, but I think I did pretty well. So first we're starting off with a rough sketch. Something I've learned during this is that Charmander has an egg of a head. I always thought it was like circular, but it's very egg-like, you know? So I thought, what could be cuter than our little friend Charmander? Him sitting down with his arms up, wanting a hug. So we've got a cute little sitting down Charmander with a very initial rough sketch. I'm just cutting that into a new layer. Obviously the image has taken from Serbi, I think it's Serbi, just for reference and for the color information. So now going in with a bit of a better sketch, adding in all those details like the claws and the little fingies. Yeah, so going well so far. Just a bit of a rough sketch. I like to do 2 or 3 sketches. For something like this, probably only 2, but for a bigger piece with multiple characters, probably 3 or 4 sketches. So the first one is the sizes, and then I can play around with the positions and move them around a bit, and then the details, and then like how they all overlap, if there's any overlapping people or characters in that. I'm just making them bigger to fill my canvas, and then we'll move on to the line art. Ooh. So just picking my brush size, making sure that's all good, increasing the stability so the lines are nice and smooth. Again, with Mr. Egghead over here, had a little bit of a struggle trying to find his perfect head shape. So I'm going to use some transformations, some mesh transformations, if you use this program, to sort of stretch it into the correct size that I want. So with the mesh transformation, as you can see, you get 4x4 dots, and then you can stretch each kind of like quadrant of the line art or image to transform it and kind of blend it into the perfect shape. And now moving on to the arms. I had a little bit of a struggle with his little fingers actually. I kept thinking that like the arm looked a bit too straight and his fingers were too pointy, like pointing up. They weren't like spread out as if he was asking for a hug. So I've gone through another fingers first to try and make it a bit more organic instead of just like some straight lines. And of course adding that 4th little thumb finger as well. Again, I'm really focusing on making him as cute and cuddly looking as possible. Even though he is made of fire and flame, I'd like to think that, especially if he's our starter, he'd want a lovely hug from us. And as I did in my Bulbasaur video, I'd love to read some Pokedex entries for you for Charmander. So in the first game, he's 004, the second starter, and the Pokedex entry says, obviously prefers hot places. When it rains, steam is said to sprout from the tip of its tail, which is a cute drawing concept as well. Some like steamy, nothing not safe for work, obviously, but like kind of like a volcano type Charmander. And then in Gen 2, in gold, it says the flame on its tail shows the strength of its life force. If it is weak, the flame also burns weakly. So then in silver, the flame on its tail indicates Charmander's life force. If it's healthy, the flame burns brightly. So obviously for this drawing, we want it to be bright and colourful so that this Charmander is, you know, happy and healthy as well. And then, again, my favourite, Emerald. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it says that the flame on its tail blazes when it's enraged. So an angry Charmander is a very fiery Charmander. So we're not hoping for an enraged type flame, just a nice, healthy, happy tail. And moving on to the shield Pokedex entry, it says, from the time it's born, a flame burns at the tip of its tail. Its life would end if the flame were to go out. So also a cute little drawing prompt. Might be when it's raining, it's steamy like a volcano, but there's another Pokemon, maybe some kind of like Chikorita with the leaf on its head trying to cover the flame so that it doesn't go out, which I think would be cute. I think that's a cute idea. I might add that to my never-ending list of drawing ideas. And some more Charizard facts. Obviously it evolves into Charmeleon and then Charizard. So Charizard in the 1999 trading card game, TCG, is a lot of people's kind of like chase card. Everyone wants it. It's quite a desirable card to have. And a graded PSA 10 card once sold for $270,600 US dollars. That's the first edition Charizard holographic card. It's a very beautiful card. If you ever see one, you're blessed. You're a blessed person to own one, especially of such a high grade. It's a very, very beautiful card. And I've actually recently gotten into Pokemon card collecting, which is kind of where the name of this channel comes from, a little bit of Jumbo Gems lore. I really, really love the Jumbo cards. I know that they don't have a lot of value, but I find them very cool. I find them jumbo and big, and I want to create like a wall art of them and display them all once I get some more. I don't have that many, but I do really like them. And the sets that they do come in, you know, I'll be picking those up. I'll be picking up all the sets with the Jumbo card because I just find them really endearing. I do like a good Jumbo card. So yeah, that's me, Jumbo Gems. So now that the line art's finished, we'll go into colouring. I'm trying a new technique of colouring here, where I just kind of fill it in as messily as possible, and then I'll go through and erase all the extra bits. That's just to make sure that there's no gaps in like the little crevices of the drawing. I also like seeing a big blob of colour. It makes me feel like the drawing's progressing instead of just focusing on all the details first. Just getting that first layer of colour down is really good. So as you can see, I'm just erasing all the little stuff that got outside the lines. So we'll just speed through this while I'm erasing my messy brush strokes. And with a little bit of editing magic, we're going to cut to most of them coloured in except the fire on his tail. I thought this would be really interesting to show. I really love how I coloured the tail in this drawing. So just starting with a nice base of the yellow, and then we'll go through and pick out some of the oranges and reds from the reference image. So just creating some dimension in that tail, making it look a little bit interesting. A lot of my drawings I like to segment the colours with lines. So this is a bit of a new technique for me, making it multicoloured but not with line art in between the colours. And I think it turned out really well. So I'm kind of hoping for like a tie-dye kind of oil spill, organic fiery colour. So as you can see, I'm just layering the reds, the oranges and the yellows here with some different weights of the lines. So some really thin, some really thick, and then I'll go through and add some really thin yellow on top. And I think that really achieves the kind of tie-dye look. And it looks really unique compared to the rest of the drawing as well. So, and obviously the fire is the star of the show. And now adding some white highlights to the eyes just for maximum cuteness as well. And now we'll get into the shading. So I just did a quick cut here just because I added the white sticker backing And then we're going to use our handy friend Shading Assist to get some of those shading colors. With time, I know that I'll get a bit better with picking the correct values and hues for the shading, but just to make sure that the image looks as good as possible for now, I'm going to be using Shading Assist to pick those colors for me. So just starting with the body, making most of the tail but leaving the tip so that it looks like the tail's glowing a bit. Yeah, so just doing some shading. And now we'll move into the body, making sure that, you know, things are highlighted where they need to be and shaded where they need to be. And I'm just going to hit you with another Charmander fact. Originally, when the game was released in Japan, the Red Blue series, Charmander was called Hitakage, but when the Pokemon franchise was, I guess, changed for a more Western American audience, they thought Charmander would be a better fit, which they say is a combination of the words char, like fire, and salamander, like the animal. So it's like a fire lizard or a fire salamander, which I think is really cool. And I'm just going to do a quick little retcon from my last video. I said that Bulbasaur was 52nd ranked by IGN, obviously user voted, but it seems that that ranking is very outdated. They did another one for the 25th anniversary, which was last year, and Bulbasaur got 20th, which is pretty great. And Charmander kind of beat Bulbasaur a little bit, with number 13th on the poll, which, you know, very cute, but unsurprising, number 1 is Charizard. Everyone loves Charizard, and I think Charmander is a very cute first stage evolution for him. So I think that's quite fitting. Charizard, and then a close 13th for Charmander. However, second evolution, Charmeleon, unfortunately did not make the top 200 list as voted by the users of IGN. But it's nice to see some Charmander and Charizard representation on the list. I have a feeling that for like 3-stage evolution lines, the second evolution usually doesn't get a lot of love, actually. I feel like the second evolution's often forgot, like, you know, Ivysaur, Wartortle, you know, the second evolution's kind of forgot, which is kind of unfortunate, you know, they are very cute in their own right. And as you're seeing here, I just did the shading for the tail and some movie magic to get the rest of the shading done for little Charmy over here. I'm really proud of how I did the shading for the tail. I, you know, did some opacity so I didn't lose that beautiful tie-dye original color. And right now I'm just using a clipping mask to get down some of the new line art color and quickly filling in a little gap that I did. So filling in that line art color just with a nice base color to start, and then we'll do some dimension adding as we did with our Bulbasaur, to make that a bit more colorful, a bit more 3D looking instead of the 2D flat image that's kind of coming across at the moment. So while we're watching me try and fill in some of these line art colors and picking the colors for them, I just wanted to talk about my plans for the Starter Sticker series, which you are watching episode 2. Thank you so much. So I've gone through on paper and sketched all the starters, all 27 of them, in the kind of idea and I guess poses I want them, or some of them are a little bit more abstract. Like Mudkip, I'm very excited for Mudkip. He's my favorite Pokemon, so I did something a little goofy with him. So I hope you stick around. Feel free to subscribe if you want to see more. I've had a few friends ask for me to print these stickers so they can actually stick them on stuff. So I'm working if I can, I have a Cricut machine at home, so I might be able to work out how to do that myself, which is exciting. And we're just finishing off the tail here, and I'd like to present to you the Charmander but cuter sticker. Thank you so much for watching. Keep an eye out for some more videos, and feel free to click to see my past videos. Thank you so much.